Ukraine accuses Hungary, Slovakia of blackmail over threats to cut electricity. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor's ex-wife Fergie, also undone by Epstein ties. Russia hits Ukraine energy infrastructure with major missile, drone strikes. Kyiv. 8 arrested for plotting terror attack in India. Links to Pakistan's ISI under radar. Ukraine has strongly condemned what it calls ultimatums and blackmail from Hungary and Slovakia, after both countries threatened to cut electricity supplies unless Kyiv restores Russian oil transit. Russian oil shipments to Hungary and Slovakia have been halted since January 27. Ukraine says a Russian drone strike damaged pipeline equipment in western Ukraine, causing the disruption. However, Hungary and Slovakia blame Kyiv for failing to resume the flow. Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico said he would stop emergency electricity exports to Ukraine within 2 days if oil transit is not restored. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán issued a similar warning earlier this week. The dispute marks one of the most serious tensions between Ukraine and the 2 European Union and NATO members, whose governments have maintained warmer ties with Moscow than most of Europe. Hungary and Slovakia are the only EU countries still heavily dependent on Russian oil delivered through the Soviet-era Druzhba pipeline, which runs across Ukrainian territory. In a statement, Ukraine's foreign ministry rejected the threats, saying ultimatums should be directed at the Kremlin, not Kyiv. Hungary and Slovakia currently provide about half of Ukraine's emergency electricity imports from Europe. Ukraine has relied increasingly on those supplies after months of Russian drone and missile strikes severely damaged its power grid. Kyiv warned that cutting electricity would be irresponsible and could threaten regional energy security. With Andrew Mountbatten Windsor facing mounting legal and public scrutiny, his former wife Sarah Ferguson is no longer by his side. Once seen as his closest supporter, Ferguson's own connections to Jeffrey Epstein have now drawn renewed attention. Ferguson, widely known as Fergie, married Prince Andrew in 1986 in a high-profile ceremony at Westminster Abbey. The couple had 2 daughters, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie. Although they separated in 1992 and divorced in 1996, they remained close for decades and continued living together at Royal Lodge in Windsor until last year. Their reputations have been further damaged following the release of millions of U.S. government documents related to Epstein. According to those files, Ferguson visited Epstein in the United States shortly after his 2009 conviction for soliciting a minor, and allegedly brought her 2 daughters with her. Andrew, the younger brother of King Charles, was recently arrested as part of an investigation into whether he leaked confidential government information to Epstein during his time as a trade envoy. He has not been charged and denies wrongdoing, saying he regrets his association with Epstein. Emails released in the document cache suggest Ferguson had a close relationship with Epstein, at times seeking emotional and financial support. In previous years, she publicly described her involvement with him as a, quote, serious error of judgment. Several charities cut ties with Ferguson following earlier revelations about her continued contact with Epstein after his conviction. Russia launched a large-scale overnight attack on Ukraine, using dozens of strike drones as well as ballistic and cruise missiles, Ukrainian officials said on Sunday. The strikes targeted energy infrastructure and hit several regions, including the capital Kyiv, the surrounding Kyiv region, the Black Sea port city of Odessa, and parts of central Ukraine. In the Kyiv region, at least 1 person was injured. Regional Governor Mykola Kalashnik said more than a dozen homes were damaged across 5 districts. In Odessa, Governor Oleg Kuiper reported that a drone attack struck energy facilities, causing fires that were later brought under control. Russia has been repeatedly targeting Ukraine's power grid, including thermal power plants, electrical substations, and gas infrastructure. These attacks have become a key part of Moscow's strategy since launching its full-scale invasion in February 2022, aiming to weaken Ukraine's ability to sustain its defense and disrupt daily life for civilians. 8 people, including a Bangladeshi national, have been arrested for allegedly plotting a major terror attack in India. According to Delhi police, the group was operating in Tamil Nadu and is suspected of having links to Pakistan's Inter-Services Intelligence Agency, or ISI, as well as Bangladesh-based extremist organizations. 6 of the accused, identified as Mizanur Rahman, Muhammad Shabat, Umar, Muhammad Lidan, Muhammad Shahid, and Muhammad Ujal, were arrested in Tamil Nadu and later brought to Delhi for questioning. 2 more suspects were detained in West Bengal, bringing the total number of arrests to 8. Police say the group had surveyed several Indian cities and were allegedly planning disruptive activities. During raids, officers seized multiple mobile phones and SIM cards, which are now being examined to determine the scale of the network and any possible foreign connections. Investigators believe the suspects were in contact through social media and may have received guidance from handlers linked to the ISI and other groups. Central agencies are assisting in the probe. Authorities also allege that 4 of the accused traveled to Delhi and put up free Kashmir posters at a metro station during an international AI summit before returning to their home states. Delhi was placed on high alert following intelligence warnings of possible terror threats, with officials citing concerns about Pakistan-based banned group Lashkar-e-Taiba